Okay, Mr. Mayor, you're good to go.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 council meeting at 6:30. We'll start off with disclosure of the pecuniary interests. Committee reports. Councillor Flynn.
We had rec committee last night, so it was a good week. Bottle Drive, we collected $798.10 from the landfills, and then we had another $14.40 that was donated at the stores. So we do have some customers coming in saying, "Hey, can I just donate?"
Nice.
And we're like, "Yep, absolutely." So we collect that and put that off to the side for it also. So it's kind of nice. Team dance. They had 27 kids at the first dance and only one at the last dance at the older kids. So kind of made the decision to switch it and put everybody together again. And they had some good sales and ran out almost everything in the candy aisle. Candy and chocolate chip one, which is really good. It's good for the kids, right? So I think what we'll do future forward, we're talking about just doing one age group, 11 to 15, from 6:30 to 9:30. Go from there. Halloween wrap up. At Station 1, they had 56 kids, and again at Station 2, we had 49 kids, so there was a good turnout. I think this is the first time in a while we haven't had snow on Halloween. It was nice. So it was a good time. And coming up, December 6th is going to be the craft event, which has been sold out since 24 hours in. So that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And we did all of the budget and pre-plan for 2026. So working on our new events, the events for 2026, who's going to do what, when, where, how kind of money we're looking at and budgeting for it. So we'll be able to probably finalize that up in the next meeting next month, a little more. And just agreed on the Christmas run donation from the rec committee. So it was a long meeting, I think, but it was a good meeting. Good. A lot accomplished.
Good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Chilton.
Nothing for me this evening.
Councillor Scott.
No, I don't have anything.
Councillor Kirk.
I have a couple of items. Museum board, we met on November the 5th, so there's no change in the visitor stats. And I was just looking at the block work, and thanks, Dan, for the update, because I kind of had a feeling it was all done. So everything is done for the foundation and the heaters are in.
They're in, I think we're just waiting on the inspection from the hiding. But yeah, they're all in and ready to do inspection.
Okay, perfect. The walkways have been cleaned and weeded out for the next opening.
Great.
Yeah, it does look good. The photograph has been, there was a photograph of, anyway, it's been received, and the washing machine. It's an old, well, you all have to see it when you get there next summer. We were planning exhibits for next year, as well as the interactive exhibit. Conversation around the candy, historically sales have dropped off every year. We're considering lowering our sales expectation. I think when we were putting together our list for the budget, we lowered it quite a bit.
I don't remember by how much, but we did
Substantial.
Yeah.
lower it.
And we did a proposed budget and we went over it line by line. So our next meeting is March 4th, 2026. And the library met last night. We have a new chair. Tina Martin, she stepped down as chair. And so now we have a new chair and a new vice chair. The new chair is Debbie Piper, the new vice chair is Pat Stevens. And the advantage of having Pat Stevens also is she's also a member of the Ontario Library Board Committee on at the provincial level, which is kind of handy. We're currently working on a grant for junior librarian. Um, CSJ, that's a grant, closes December 11th. And we will be applying for it. It's one of those grants that opens and like a week later it closes. You know, the way they've been doing that. December Seniors Community Grant to help seniors with their electronic devices. So we're applying for that one. All right, sorry, we got that one. We're working on having Sergeant Renee Taylor come in and do the electronic fraud thing for seniors, which is,
Good plan.
yeah, so I'll be coordinating that through the services board, so it's another board that they come together quite easily. And she already told me, just call and set it up, so that's not a big problem. Connectivity grant, $2,040. It comes in 2026, but it's already been approved, so it's just a matter of waiting for it to come in. Gonna get all the carpets cleaned in the library. Enbridge is doing it. Municipal partnership meeting on Thursday at 10:30 to sort out the agreement. The library agreement. Now, the way the agreement's written, it's in contravention about some of it, I'd have to sort it out. But some of it is in contravention of the Ontario Library Act, so might have to look that. I'll look up, I just got that today. I'll look that up and get back to you on what rules were contravened in the contract. So I have to look at that. We're had an interesting conversation and collaboration of grants for the 3 municipalities. Where, you know, like say for a lighting grant or something like that, have the 3 municipalities, because a lot of these grants, they're larger money grants. And so if you need like $10,000 for lighting, they're not interested, they don't want to talk to you. But if Chisholm, Powassan, and Nipissing all have lighting and it's $60,000 or $70,000, now they're going to start listening to you. You know what I mean? So you collaborate, so you apply for one grant for 3 municipalities and see where something worth trying. So we deferred the agreement until the December meeting. They selected the volunteer of the year. The float for the Parade of Lights. The Voodoos are going to help us with it. They always step up. Open house December 19th. And OTF grant will come, we're gonna get the final on that. Normally with the OTF grant, you have to have our MPP, you know, when you do the media release. Well, he's kind of busy and he's.
That's okay, you can continue going, it's just because the laptop is full, however, it's still being streamed to
Okay.
YouTube, and we can get the recording from there,
All
so
right.
you're good to continue, sorry, Councillor Kirky.
That's fine. Yeah, so the OTF grant, we're gonna finish it up in spite of him not being able to do it, and they will just do a media release from their office. We deferred the new policy statement on code of conduct as well because it needed some cleaning up. The Friends of the Library, they donated $700 for nesting tables for the, they all hold up. And holiday events, December 4th, karaoke master Levi for kids Christmas kickoff. That'll they'll be able to sing along with classic songs and whatnot at the library. December 6th is a Parade of Lights, so expect to see the Voodoos there. December 11th, Mayor McIsaac and Santa Claus visit Jen for, they're going to do the Raising Readers. How did you get out of that?
I didn't even know about it.
Anymore? Yeah, anyway. Well played. Kids' holiday shopping runs from 12th to the 19th. They have items for sale. Okay. December 18th, the Voodoos and Santa at the Powassan Sportsplex for the holiday skate. And December 19th, it'll be the open house at the library. And if you show up, there's generally prizes for everybody who shows up. They do have a lot of kind of need. It'll be from 1 till 4. And December 30th, they will be doing a silent dance at the Sportsplex. Closed December 24th, 25th, and 26th. Open December 31st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Closed January 1st. Also, I put this up in the office. Okay. We need library board members. We're down 3 now. We lost Brenda from our township. We lost Lori, 4th, and we lost Tina Martin. So we're down 3 members. We looked around the room, it looked empty last night.
It would, yeah.
So just give that to you.
Thank you.
And if you need more, you know, trying to recruit, I will look around. I know a couple of people. I'm gonna see what I can do to recruit another member for our township. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Turkey. I had a Pines meeting this morning, and I'll give you a quick update. Canalex was paid in full. They come in under budget and ahead of schedule. They did a beautiful job, which I've told you before. We spent the full $160,000 that we were allotted from DSAB. And then what we took out, but we're putting money back in our accounts again. We're going to send a letter as far as the board to Canalex and to DSAB to thank them both for doing such a great job and for funding us on it. The maintenance contract has been filled. Tim White has gone on to another position. So James Harmon is our new maintenance person, very well qualified. He has a degree like house inspection, carpentry, comes from a construction family, and he's a real go-getter too. So we're lucky to get him, but there were people interested. Quite a few people showed interest in it. The rent increase this year is 2.1%, which is allotted by the Ontario government. That's what it is. So a one-bedroom unit that goes for $703 now will be $717, $14 a month, which is pretty reasonable. And it's a beautiful building. So now our funding comes from COCHI, which is Canada Ontario Community Housing Initiative. And this year or next year, we're getting $184,000. And so we're very lucky. It's, and then we'll look at in the future what our big needs are. I know the elevator's 40 years old and the building are 42. So things like that, that'll sure help out to get back on. We looked at the draft budget for next year, and next meeting we'll finish the budget off as well. And we're doing an agreement with East Home for an emergency agreement. There's never been one, so there isn't backup hydro at the Pines. So if there is an emergency, everybody can go from the Pines, which is walking right across the parking lot, and they'll be warm and comfortable and probably well fed as well. Another thing we heard today that Pauline Rushford there's $45 million coming out to small municipalities in funding. So I don't know.
We did have a quick look and there wasn't anything that we could find at this time. I did go on to MP's Rochford site to see if there was anything listed right on her website, because she's got funding opportunities listed right there. But we weren't able to find anything, so we'll keep our eyes out for when those opportunities, when that funding is officially announced.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So we'll move on. Need a resolution. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Foot. Councillor Trojano. That the minutes of the regular council meeting held October 28th, 2025 be adopted as published. All in favor? So we're gonna have Will get involved in this. The first one is to adopt a position description for facility maintenance person contract position. So Will, do you want to speak to that, please?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Everybody has the job description in front of them. We're just wondering if there's any questions or any concerns that council might have. If it gets approved tonight, we're gonna post it. We'll go over all the resumes, interview, and then we'll present council with our recommendations.
Everybody's fine, read it over good? Okay.
Increased hours.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we had to increase. We added a few more tasks to the description as well.
Okay. The new person could check the toilet handle. I know it's a fluke, it happens, but anyway.
That's been replaced.
So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Kirky. Councillor Scott. That we adopt a position description for a facilities maintenance person contract position. All in favor? Carried. Okay. So, Will, I'm going to get you to speak to this again, and this is for the hydro factoring and a pump at the community center, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, again. I need to apologize. When this staff report was handed in, I only had one quote. I received a couple more quotes, and on top, you should see the recommendation we would like to present with council. Is that correct, Kristen? I believe it was the top one.
Yeah, so it's going to be the email that among out of the three of them. Yeah, it'll be this one. One in your, yeah. Yeah.
So right now we're producing about 2 gallons a minute. And when it was done back around 1981 or so, I believe we were getting 8 gallons per minute. And now we're getting 2 gallons per minute out of the water. So we've ran out of water. I believe we're up to about 5 times now. And we did find that due to a running toilet, which has been replaced.
If that's what
Okay.
council out of the three quotes, if that's what council would like to go with, then I will add that.
So, it's, who tested it to 2 gallons a minute?
Well,
Sorry, I didn't quite hear Councillor Kirky or Councillor
Who
Scott.
tested it to 2 gallons a minute?
I'm sorry, Councillor Kirky.
How do we know it's 2 gallons a minute?
We had a company come in and do a test on it.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then we're gonna do another test after the work's been completed.
so when that company is here doing that, will you be on site?
Yes, I will be working with them.
Okay,
So all of our on-site health and safety rules will be applied?
Correct. And they have all the proper documentation.
Okay. Do they have a copy of our health and safety rules?
They do not at this time. We
Yeah,
we work with all contractors at the time of awarding the contract.
Yes, okay. I was just curious because, you know, I keep thinking the Sudbury thing keeps coming up to mind every time a contractor comes on site anywhere in the township. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Sudbury thing, but anyway.
I am, thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to highlight that. Thanks, Will.
Thank you, Councillor Kirky.
okay. So I'll need a mover and a seconder.
Are we going with the one quote? We decide on the one?
We have
or-
3 now.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we're going on the
This
most
is the-
expensive one?
no, we're going on Ontario Water Well Frac Treatment.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's where my staff report would have changed is the bottom due to the new quotes that came in.
Would it, just out of curiosity, if you're putting a new pump in, would it be worth our while to change the hose while we're at it, if it's been in there since 1981?
I could inquire that on the time of the,
I'm playing devil's advocate of you pull that apart, put it back together again, and you're pulling it out and you're pulling it in, and it's old.
Yeah.
You're 40 years. I don't think it'd be all that much more money to put in a new piece of
Is
plastic
this
pipe.
one we're talking about? Sorry, is this one we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I
I
just-
don't,
I made a note on my paper here. Thank you, Councillor Scott.
that would be a cost plus, I would
Yeah.
assume. I would,
And brass fittings and,
Well, he said the cost to replace a 1/2 inch pump.
Yeah.
That there's there now with a Franklin
yeah.
3/4 inch.
Yeah.
Free wire pump, $2,000 plus HST included in that price is labor, any fittings or adapters that need to be replaced, shrink kits and new control box.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that pretty well covers it except for the pipe
Except for the
itself.
hose.
except for the hose and that's, if it's 1981, it's 2025, that's 40 years. Being in and I don't trust, I know they're supposed to. but
so you'll
I'm
make
cheap.
sure of that, Will?
Yeah, I will work with the contractor. Thank you.
So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Shalaphenko. Councillor Foot. that we accept the quote and authorize hydrofracturing services and replacement of submersible well pump for the Township of Nipissing Community Center from Ontario Water Well Fracturing in the amount of $6,000 plus HST. All in favor?
Mr. Mayor, if you're okay, could I give a quick capital update?
Yeah.
Thank you. I just capital project, the dry hydrant. I just filled out some more paperwork today. I am still hopeful that we can complete this before the weather changes. I'm hoping to hear back about our paperwork in the next week. I just wanted the council to be aware that we're still filling out paperwork and I'm still hopeful to get the dry hydrant installed before the weather changes.
Okay, thank you, Will.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You can carry on with your activities where you are.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council. Have a good evening.
Thank
You as well.
Right.
So number 6, we're going to defer. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's,
We need to get clarification
Yeah.
and,
it would be in our best interest to.
yeah.
I'll look up the rules, and I just got that this afternoon. It was actually counselor from Chisholm pointed out that pointed out last night that we weren't sure what the rules were. We were all sitting in chambers, of course.
And this is the library agreement. This isn't a staff agreement. This is a agreement
This
between
is-
us, Chisholm and
Yes,
Lawson, right?
Yes, that agreement.
Okay.
I don't know if that would- Anyway, so we have to get clarification on, because you don't want to be in contravention of the Ontario Library Act. And that's where she cited a contravention, so I'm gonna look it up. She actually sent me the link today, just before I left. She sent it to me at noon or something, but I can look it up. Anyway, just before I left, I was like, got the link, so I will look up the link and find out where the contravention was. And we're actually we deferred it to our December meeting as well, so we can get all this cleaned up and bring it forward.
Yeah.
But we'll move on. So I need a mover and a seconder.
Can I just ask for a second? Are you really gonna stay open on July 1st on the stat holiday?
No.
Or January 1st on the stat holidays? Because it says closed at noon.
Yeah, that's an error. Closed.
So it's totally closed, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, that is definitely just a typo on my
Okay,
end.
I just want to make sure I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that's okay.
We got it before.
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
So Councillor Kirky and seconded by Councillor Scott. That the 2025 holiday hours for municipal operations be as follows. December 24th closed at noon, December 25th, 6 closed, December 31st closed at noon and closed New Year's Day. And the landfills will be closed December 25th and 26th and January 1st. All in favor? That's good. Mover and a seconder. Pinko. And Councillor Foot. that we authorize the township office to close for training Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. All in favor? Good. I need a mover and a seconder. Turkey. Councillor Foot. That we authorize to attend the Good Roads Conference in Toronto on March 29th, 2026 till April 1st, 2026. So it would be Dan McGinnis, Superintendent Dan McGinnis, sorry. Councillor Chalapenko and Councillor Scott. All in favor? Yeah. This is the staff report that Kim and Dan prepared. I'm gonna have Kim start to speak on it first, if that's okay, please.
Sure. So as you recall, council and the township entered into an agreement with Circular Materials on November 25th, 2024. And our program began in October of 2024, where the province took over the collection through a third-party contractor collecting our blue bin recyclable materials at the landfill. And we currently offer the two streams. Through part of that agreement, they can provide change orders. So we received our first change order to the agreement. Just summarizes the change order that we received. So they provided an extension to the agreement at 3 additional one-year contracts terms. So it just provides consistency with the program and the contracts moving forward. Each year they'll, I believe, update us with information, but just continues consistency. The residential operational costs, so what the township receives from the contractor, which is RLG, so they're another step down from Circular Materials, will change beginning in January. So we receive a certain amount now, that will increase in January, it will increase again next January. Basically the CPI is how they determine that cost, and they adjust it annually. The compensation for promotion and education material, I did include some promotion and education material that we received from Circular Materials from their website. Some of it, they created some specific stuff. Some of it is more curbside collection communities, but this is ones that they will do for depots. Has changed. It used to be $1 per household divided by our household numbers, divided by 12 months. They've now reduced that cost to 35 cents per household. And they changed our households. We were at 1,300 and some odd households. They tried to bring us down to 1,100, and I had to fight with them with an impact document to get us back up to 1,223 households for the sake of our Circular Materials contract. So at least it was a little bit of a win for us. We continue to maintain our 2 streams at the landfill. And Circular Materials, if you've probably heard, if you've been driving in the car, they've been pushing their ads with go to our website to find out how much more you can recycle in that. The Township of Nipissing is actually on their website. So if you go to Ontario and you search Nipissing, you will find the Township of Nipissing on there. And if you click on the link, it will bring you to the page that we have created for our landfills and recycling. It has our landfill hours on it, and that you must present your landfill entry card and both landfill hours on there. And they are working to make enhancements to that site. So as it comes and there's new information, we'll provide that information on our website as additional resources for residents, so they know what they can. Because in January, there will be more items that residents can recycle, which is a win for the township, because it means less going into the landfill and more going into recycling. So that extends hopefully the life of our landfills, which is a great win for us. So that's just sort of basic summary of what the change order that the township will enter into. They give us an option, but really it's not much of an option. It was just making sure things were in line with our agreement and what we're already doing, so.
And thank you for all the work that you put in to getting this done.
No
A
problem.
lot of work. So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Chalapinkle, Councillor Scott. Whereas Circular Materials Ontario is the administrator of the common collection system of blue box material under the transition of responsibility to the province of Ontario. And whereas CMO and the Township of Nipissing entered into an eligible community people operations agreement on November 25th, 2024. Related to the collection of blue box materials at depots as authorized by Resolution R 2024-198. Now therefore, CMO and the Township of Nipissing jointly accept this change order respecting the collection of blue box materials at the depots, and we authorize the mayor and the municipal administrator, clerk, treasurer to sign change order 1. All in favor? So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Kirby. Councillor Foot.
I have questions, right? I think we need to spend more time looking at it prior to saying it's a go. Because really, at the end of the day, there was so much in this package. This didn't get, because I have questions. Like I have some questions, right? And just some kind of a hey, and not that anything's bad, but when you look at it, so I would prefer to look at it again and then sit down and chat and kind of go, hey, this is what I do for a living, right? This is what I do in my real life. And I just have questions about, are we that accessible? Are we as accessible as we think we are? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's up to everybody else. That's just my opinion. We can, if you want to pass it, absolutely. But there's still questions. Like if you look at it, if you go into the township, so if you walk through our township and we say that we have a complaint process that is good for everybody, right? How many within the township, how many of our residents within the township are illiterate? So when we talk on council, when we talk in meetings, we say everything's in writing. Where do we say, make it public for them not to feel uncomfortable to say, we've got your back and you can come in? Because it doesn't have to be in writing if we're having literate challenges, right? The other side of the coin is come to my, a lot of people have said it to me within the township and they said, there is no option, like, cause we say, just let us know and we'll make materials available to you. But short of them taking time off work and losing money, there is no time for them to come in and make stuff accessible to them. And I think we have to talk about that. Because most people travel in and out of the township to work, or a lot of people travel in and out of the township to work. So I don't think we're as transparent as we could be.
Are you talking hours?
Yeah,
Oh,
hours that the office is open.
I know,
It just
I
doesn't work.
can't. They work the same hours as I do.
I can tell you, I've probably spoken to way more people than I should about accessibility hours to the office. So that's the challenge. For me to say, yes, I agree with it and update it, I would have to ask you to say, I'm against, because I don't think it's full accessibility, personally.
So I guess it would come down to, that would be a change in operational needs if we were looking at changing accessibility for the
Yeah.
office. But it also would allow, if somebody needed something in the evening, of offering them to come to a council meeting prior to pick up something, or a recreation meeting or a museum board meeting at another public facility that has, you know, options to come in to pick
Yeah,
up
but
items.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be clearly laid out in this plan, because it's not, right? And there's a lot of people out there that won't ask those questions. They won't ask, they won't come forward because they don't want to walk the boat. But I think if it's clear that says, hey, if you need access, absolutely let us know and meet us at council and we can take care of you, or something like that, right? If you need another opportunity to, and you're not comfortable. There are people I work with every day that say to me, I won't write an email. So if you're not willing to speak to me on the phone, I'm done.
And I'd have to go to the which page, but we do say that it can be in person, by phone, or by email, or by other means.
I just didn't see that in here.
Yeah, if you can give me a minute to look, but it's
Yeah.
certainly up to council whether they'd like to defer it, and we can have a discussion after, and we can look at those notes, or if it needs to be better laid out for the communication piece.
Yeah, just
Rather
more
than to hold the
detail.
council meeting up. Under the customer service standard under communication, the Township of Nipissing will offer to communicate with customer by other means, including relay service, email, or in person. If telephone communication is not suitable to their communication needs, or if it is not available. So then we talk about assistive devices or feedback. They can provide feedback on the way the Township of Nipissing provides goods or service, written submission by mail, fax, or visiting the township office in person, or by telephone submission to discuss a matter with it.
Is that in
Like
this one
that.
here? Did I miss it in here?
Yes, it's on the feedback page on page 6.
So I think I was looking somewhere else then.
Yeah. And
Oh, item 3.
Yeah.
Page 6, yeah. Maybe that's somewhere.
Apologies, Kim, what page were you on?
that was page 6, part of the information that I read, and
Okay.
part of it was at the bottom of page 5.
Thank you, sorry.
No,
And I
no
missed it
worries.
because I was looking elsewhere in it, right? I was
Yeah,
reading
no,
somewhere else,
that's
and I'm
no
like,
problem at
it's
all.
not, I guess, I think it's just the clarity, right?
Yeah.
And then under page 4, under information and communication, the township is committed to meeting the communication needs of people with disabilities. The township will create and provide, receive information and communication in ways that are accessible to people with disabilities. When asked, we will provide an information and communication materials in accessible formats or with communication supports. The township will consult with people with disabilities to determine their information and communication needs. So we've left that open so that we could work with that person to determine what is best for them. Do they want to speak in person, a meeting? Does it need to be in large format? Does it need to be with a support person? Does it need to be with assistive device, does it need to be done through email, relay service? Something that meets
Just my
their needs.
thoughts. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just thoughts. As I walk through it as a layperson, walking it through for the first time, right?
Yeah.
As a person looking at it from the other side of the coin for the first time. And I think we have to look at everything from eyes that have never seen it before.
Yeah.
That's
Have you
my
ever had
personal opinion.
requests to be after 4 o'clock?
We have not in the time that I have been there. I'm not sure if,
I can tell you, I have been in the parking lot of the township and have gone back in after hours, like, not after hours, but after 4:30 to assist.
And there's no way I'm saying that we should be open after 4, but I'm just saying that's, if we're saying we're available but we're not.
What
But
we do,
bringing it somewhere else and making it available, and you're right, making it available within a council meeting and saying, hey, staff are happy to come and provide you with that at a
The
somewhere else
hour
if you want to do this.
beforehand or.
and we usually, so for an example, soccer registration is often a good example. People will say, well, how do I pay for it when I can't get there during the day? So we've made it very accessible, rather than having it that one week, which wasn't accessible to people, is we made it that you, if you pay taxes to the Township of Nipissing, pay on your tax account. Just let us know, and then we don't apply it to your taxes, we apply it to your recreation
Yeah.
payment.
Yeah.
Email us in your form, drop it off in the drop box through the door, and then we get it when we come in the next morning. You can, email it to us and drop off the payment, as long as we have it within a time frame or we know it's coming, however might that be. So we'll work with, our residents, our customers, to find out what works for them. We do the same thing with building permits. I had a resident, because they live down south, they would call me or email me, Kim, I'm sending it through my tax payment. Just so you know, can you email me and let me know you've received it? And I absolutely will, both of us will, we'll let
Yeah.
anybody know that is getting it, to make it. And whether the person, has a disability or not, we would do that with any customer or resident. So we try to find ways, and it doesn't have to be out of the box, it can be specific to that person's need. And I've heard other staff, whether it's the CBO or the land planning administrator, work with staff or go and meet on site when needed as
Kim,
well.
by no stretch of the imagination am I saying people don't work with people. What I'm saying is it's the perception, right? It's that and there's a lot of people that, by no stretch of the imagination, we don't have a single team member that works in this township that wouldn't step 100 miles out of their way to help somebody,
Yeah,
right?
if I could, I've seen cemeteries stuff take place after hours to
Yeah,
accommodate.
And I totally agree, right? I'm not by any stretch of the imagination are we saying that, but if we're saying if you need to get something done within the four walls, it's not always as simple as we think it is. And I think we just have to recognize that for our constituents, right? And we just have to recognize it's not as simple as we think it is, or there's a ton of people that will not ask the questions. There's a ton of people that will not ask the questions. So if we just give them the information and they can pick through it, then we can honestly say, it's there, you got it, right? And we gave it, because every one of our staff are fantastic, no questions asked. And I would be hard pressed to find anybody, or I would be all the time. We'll say it in a heartbeat, right? I'm sure every council at this table has had to correct somebody that says, and you're like, no, I don't think that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is covered in this though.
Yeah, it is. It's well covered.
But I went through it and I thought, well, we're good.
I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch.
Well, we've covered the physical stuff. It's very well covered.
Yeah.
And the non-physical stuff, like accommodation for time and stuff like that, we do cover it. It's there. From what I can see anyway, I'm not seeing anybody left out in this.
I've seen all this staff quit eating their lunch to go help people, like lots. It's, other places you do that, you can't even get in the door. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Nobody's ever saying somebody
No.
won't help,
no,
ever.
they go out of their way.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we could probably pass this as it is. I've already got a mover in a second, I'm gonna read it, and we'll take a vote. That we approve the 2025 to 2029 multi-year accessibility plan update. All in favor? Carried. Mover and seconder. Councillor Chalafinko. And Councillor Foot. That we accept the resignation from Andrew Berry as an appointee of the Township of Nipissing Recreation Committee. All in favor?
Time is appreciated.
He's a busy man.
Yes, he is.
He is. Next on our list is council remuneration comparative report. Is everybody ready? Discussion. So we're kind of in the middle of things here. What I would like to suggest is we're not here for money. Everybody knows that. But if we don't do anything, then we're putting it on the backs of the next council. So if we say, oh, no, we're not doing anything like the 1.5 or whatever it is, then the next council in 2 or 3 years say, well, we're falling way behind. We need 4%. It makes them look very bad. So
I read this. We took 1% last year, but we were coming out of a very bad string of,
yes,
residents who were strapped.
Yeah.
Now, the CPI is 2.4 this year. So I think, and I get it, but I think it would be reasonable to do 2%. Don't want to match the CPI. The reason I don't like to match the CPI is because people go, oh, it's just going to be a natural, you'll just follow them up.
Yeah.
But we did take, the year before we took nothing. Last year we took 1. We take 2 this year. Next year, I guess. And then the new council can.
anybody else want to speak to that?
Just seems high.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, I would want.
speaking to that, it causes a total increase of $1,088.
Yeah, I thought
All of
that.
us.
And I think if I may, Mr. Mayor, is council takes on a lot of responsibility. If we just look at tonight's agenda of all of the documents, and Councillor Foot mentioned the documents that you had to go through in detail, and the committee meetings that you go to, the residents that you come and speak to, even just going out in the community. It's a lot of responsibility as a councillor for the township. And so that comes an effort and time. And so it has to be compensated. And this is the way. It's not just that you come in and say, oh, thank you for everything. And we do and appreciate it. But this is the way that it's done. And as Mary says, is you can't leave it for another council to then have a big increase because it hasn't been done for many years, or it's only been small amounts. So just to keep that in consideration to go forward. So when it comes down for a resolution in the new year, when to looking at. So this was just to give you an idea that Kristen put together.
That would be starting next year.
Our year starts December, right?
January.
That's like as this council that we started in November.
Yes.
Yes.
The
So,
in
yeah,
January.
on the next
Yeah.
budget. So it's a total of $1,000 you wouldn't even,
1,088 total.
yeah,
For all 5.
Yeah.
Of us.
I don't have a problem with it.
so we'll get a resolution. Well, not the next, we'll do it in the
If we brought back.
back. Okay,
Are we saying 2%? Is that what we're saying?
I think so.
It is okay.
Thanks, Councillor Gertie.
Thanks, Kim. Never like to talk money.
No, it's a dirty subject.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay, we're gonna move on to our, asset management plan and have a discussion.
There was a staff report that went out with the plan, and we received, 2 public comments with the asset management, for the asset management plan that went out. One was just a correction, that we realized after further investigation, for the plan and after, talking with staff. It was an update to one of the charts, within the plan table 3.6. One of the roads that was identified for work was actually a private road within the township. So it was actually the portion that was identified should have been included with Rocky Shore Road. So we've updated that within the plan. And it will be ensured that it's updated when we do the next roads need study as well, so that it's identified correctly. The other comment that we received was from a resident having some questions about some work on the Alsace Road. Information was communicated back to the resident, and council received it in their package, and it was also posted on within the public council package. So the information was communicated back that the work on the road will commence at a later date with some shifting priorities with upcoming work on the Bear Creek culvert with the catastrophic failures that had happened this year. And any further work in phases 2 and 3 on the roadway would commence once phase 1 was done. There was also questions about the Hummel Bridge. As you all know, when funding becomes available for the Hummel Bridge, we will look at doing work with that along with our partners with the municipality of Powassan. However, we have been working with our engineering firm to complete the necessary studies required to have the project shovel ready when it becomes available. And we continue to work and investigate funding opportunities for the replacement of the bridge. And we continue, there was a question about funding opportunities, and we continue to look for funding opportunities. In fact, there's one that just came out from the provincial government for pothole repair and prevention that the township will be looking to apply for. And again, there's federal funding that has come out as that has been announced through MP Rochford's office. We will apply for it if it, works for our municipality. So we continue to look for any opportunities for funding that is for infrastructure or anything else, recreation or what have you, that will work, but especially for infrastructure because it is the biggest cost. So those were sort of the public comments we received regarding the asset management plan.
Thanks very much, Tim. That's well done. Good. So we're going to talk about our asset management plan. I think we should be deferring it, but we'll discuss.
Discussion first.
Yes.
Starting on page 1.
So, well, we've already did this page by page 2 weeks ago, so anything that anybody's found here that they're just not sure of, that's what we should be looking at.
Well, understanding that it's a plan. This is none of this, whether we accept the plan or not. None of it is carved in stone because we understand that it's a dynamic, stuff changes, right?
There's terminology all through here, like forecast, expected,
Well,
and yeah, none of it is concrete. I hate to invest a lot of money in something that isn't necessarily going to happen.
Well,
Projected or expected.
as we get closer to that portion of the plan, and we're talking a couple of years ahead. So as we get closer, we can get a better fit on adjusting our budget to the plan. You know, we can't afford to follow the plan to the letter. We know that. We don't have the money to follow the plan to the letter. But we know that there's gonna be give and take in that plan, right? You know, like the Alsace and the Bear Creek Culvert, there's a classic example.
Correct. And that's a 10-year working document.
Exactly.
So that's kind of,
So in my opinion, we could accept the plan the way it is, but there will be changes going down the road.
Yeah.
You know, and every year that we look at it, as we get closer to that portion of the plan. As we get closer, we would say, well, can we do this? Yes or no? Is this viable? You know, standpipes, there's a classic example. You know, what's the frequency in that area? What's the distance to water, you know, like, or subterranean reservoirs?
Yeah.
You know, tanks.
So what
Stuff
are we
like
prioritizing? Are
Yeah.
we, I know we need a new yards building and a new township office, but do we really need a new vehicle?
Yeah,
That's
that's
part
stuff
of the
like that.
question, right?
Yeah.
Or can we share? Can we do more sharing?
Yeah.
Can we utilize the vehicles we have better,
More
Yeah.
effectively,
more
yeah.
effectively?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's what we have to take a serious look at.
No Lamborghini for you.
No.
I think that's the biggest piece of it. But I think, next council is gonna be the one that comes in and says, no, that just really can't happen.
That's why a 5-year forecast, what we did before this, is so much better to work with because it's more realistic.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The government is mandating a 10-year, so our hands are tied, right?
Oh, I know.
So
it.
we have to kind of look to the future and say, this is, you know, what we possibly could need.
Yeah.
And we have to have something, this asset management, actually, to the pothole funding Kim just done, if we don't have this, we don't get that funding.
Yeah.
So, it's just a working document that we have to have. Obviously, it has to kind of fit within the scope of everything, but, like you said, we have to shift and pivot all the time to these culverts collapsed or this happened, and we gotta shift the funds from here to put it here.
It's a guide, right?
Yes.
It provides a guide of where you would like to go, and it gives you strategies to get there. And it gives you an idea of where the buildings are, where the facilities are, the roads are, and all of those things. And it gives you funding needs so that you can plan for the future. And as Steve says, each year we're going to bring back the capital forecast, the operational budget, and you're going to use the asset management plan to help guide you as you're making those decisions. There's going to be times where projects get pushed or delayed, or there's going to be funding opportunities that are going to fund those projects to see you forward. And we didn't know that certain culverts were going to have to be fixed audit, and projects had to be shifted and maintained. And then other projects though that road is okay and it can wait till next year. So that funding can be utilized else, at another time. But we still have to have a plan so that there's some direction to have us move forward.
Cause, everything that we own in the township, from culverts, buildings, it all has a life expectancy. So I guess this is what's kind of steering the ship to what how long of life is left on these assets.
The close, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of townships in the past probably didn't manage their assets correctly. So the government come up with an OREG 588-17 to
It's
Exactly.
give a lot of people.
Some of the other places where I worked, it was crisis management. It was not, there was no planning, it's truck down, motors out of it, we gotta buy a new truck. You knew that 5 years ago,
Right.
And they weren't planning for it. And this is where this stuff is coming in, just because there's too many places not planning for it. And then running to the province saying, I'm broke, I need money,
And
why?
so our municipality is already doing this, so which makes this kind of moot.
We're light years ahead of so many municipalities.
Yeah,
And we saw that in calendar at the East Perry Sound meeting. And people asked, the speaker would finish his presentation, we'd take a break and people, so are you gonna be able to do that? And we'd say, we've been doing that for 20 years.
Yeah, we're already,
Yeah.
like you said, we are like years ahead
Yeah.
of those.
And we are.
Oh, hey, I mean, when I come on board, I mean, I was thoroughly impressed with how Nipissing is set up with, you know, what they do with their equipment, charging equipment hours, and then you build a reserve to fix stuff that happens. You're not going into your reserve, like into.
Oh, yeah.
Emergency fund.
Right, I mean, there's money set it there, and when we have to buy a vehicle or a piece of equipment, we can finance it and ourselves, and it doesn't impact the budget every year.
Yeah.
You know, we already went through that once when with the truck. We ordered a truck, the truck was coming in. We wanted to order a second truck, and we weren't gonna get it for 2
2 years.
2 years. The taxpayers didn't feel that pinch because there's so much foresight
Right, I mean,
that we were able to make it happen, and nobody felt the pinch in their tax bills that we ended up with another truck in less than a year. That's
was forward-thinking, like, way ahead into the future.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, and I think this is why the government is forcing this 10-year asset management plan.
right,
Because they need not just us. I mean, we watched another community earlier this year up north go bankrupt,
right, because
you know.
ultimately, like, I'm gonna use a plow truck for an example. There's a 10-year life expectancy, so that 10-year forecast shows you should be breaking that down yearly, how much you should be putting away for that truck. So at the end of its life cycle, you can, you have the funds available to pay or put a good deposit down, a down payment down on.
No, you should
If
be.
you get an extra year out of it and you got an extra one, then Bob's your uncle,
And
right?
that's-
I mean, at least the money's there.
Yeah.
Right, and that's how we, like, I
Yeah.
guess that's how we've got it set up. I mean, not saying at 10 years, we're getting rid of it, but that's the
Yeah.
life cycle
Yeah.
from the MPO, that is the life cycle of that truck.
But
Absolutely.
I've been in other places where we had 26 trucks. On any given day, 5 were in the garage. Because they were hitting 14 and 16 years. And it's like, we gotta extend this one more year, and I'm going, it's got 750,000 kilometers on it. Plowing. Of plowing, it's destroyed. I said, the plow, it's gonna cost you 20 grand just to make the plow usable. On a $5,000 truck.
There's a certain point where you're putting more money into trucks work.
When they.
Yeah,
when
you
they-
gotta weigh your options.
And plus, we owe it to the residents to have functioning trucks to clear the roads or, I'm just using public works stuff because that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So that
what I
you can
mean?
maintain
Yeah,
the levels of
it's
service.
The
that you
levels of
committed to.
services were, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, all these, I know there's certain things council's not happy with, but all these tie into the future, right? I mean, it's always looking to the future. It's not this year, next year, it's the future.
Yeah. Okay. Good discussion. Any mover? Councilor Scott.
Yes.
That we pass bylaw number 2025-32, being a bylaw to adopt an asset management plan for the Township of Nipissing, read this first, second, third time, and passed on this 18th day of November 2025. All in favor? Carried. Correspondence. Minister of Finance, Peter Bethlen Falvey, how's that? Did I get it?
You got it.
2026 Municipal Partnership Fund. Association of Municipalities of Ontario, policy update, speed camera legislation, first-time home buyers, HST relief, AMO's homelessness research update, and energy advocacy. Sorry, couldn't say that one. So now they're talking first-time home buyers. Now they're talking anybody. Like if you decide I'm gonna sell my house, buy a new house, that's what they're talking. Anyhow, that was brought out this week by the premier.
What's that?
HST, so,
Oh, HST.
yeah, you get it all back, which on $600,000-700,000, that's a big, yeah,
15%.
it is. Association of Municipalities of Ontario, Bill 60, Fighting Delays Building Faster Act 2025. Association of Municipalities of Ontario, policy update, full economic statement. Municipality of Blue Water resolution urging the federal government to keep climate change as a foremost national priority.
I've gone a little over the top.
Yeah, like for a municipality,
Yeah,
I agree with.
yes,
Joe.
yeah. This next one I read a lot, I think that they're on the right track, and that's Tay Valley Township resolution, collective action on sustainable waste management in Ontario. Their landfills are done in 2029. And like they're saying, everybody else is pretty near in that same boat. So,
Just my opinion, I had read this and these German, the incineration things that they're doing and collecting hydro from them, well, they already do that in their township. That's a similar system that they have up there, but they don't generate as much as, say, these systems do. They generate enough to run the landfill.
yeah, yeah,
But in just my opinion, if they were to get together and do a larger one where we could get hydroelectric power out of it.
right in North Bay, and everybody shipped their garbage there and heat or the hospital or something.
Yes.
Disintegrators are what they're called. You've probably seen them, Dan, or?
I've looked into like the incinerators.
Well, they call these, they're huge, and they burn at 2,200 Fahrenheit.
Oh.
And they burn clean, and that's like the Netherlands, they're way ahead of Germany.
I've done like quite a bit of research with the incinerators, but the Environment Canada doesn't want them here.
No,
They closed Cherry Street, which is in Toronto,
yeah,
and that used to
There's clean coming out.
pass Front Street. All the lines, water lines run underneath there. It didn't need sand or salt because the roads
Yeah.
were heated.
yeah, it was built in North York, another one, North York had one.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, Town of Perry Sound EMS Advisory Committee meeting minutes held October 23rd, 2025. Powassan and District Union Public Library meetings, minutes held September 15th, 2025 and October 20th, 2025. Nipissing Township Museum Board of Management meeting, minutes held November 5th, 2025. So I need a mover. Seconder. Councilor Kirky. Councilor Scott. Have you received the correspondence report as presented? All in favor? I need a mover and a seconder. Good.
Is that that for the accounts payable? I have a little question here on the bottom, fire department and technical support, and then $186 Starlink.
Sorry, I have a note about that, I just have to grab that here. So the Starlink was purchased for fire CEMC bylaw for Wi-Fi calling where no service and accessing data on site if it gets requested. So it's gonna be divided amongst all of them so that we have access to.
He can get Wi-Fi in his truck.
Yeah.
It's like for.
So if we're down at this, south end and we need to make a call or,
Yeah, so that becomes a monthly fee then, true, right?
I'm not, is it monthly?
At this point, I only have that fee. I'd have to investigate what the additional fees will be. I'd have to get back to you on that, Councillor Scott.
So that's, I'm guessing here we're about 500 and change.
So on a personal note, I have one in my car. So when I travel up north, I am 2 to 3 hours on average, sometimes with no signal. I took it with me on my last trip. I had signal all the time, no questions asked. And we're paying nominal, like it's almost nothing.
It's not the full Starlink, it's
It's not
just
the
a,
full
like
one,
a
it's a
little
mini.
mini.
Yeah.
For the vehicle, I think it's under,
It's cheap. It's not, for what you get, it's cheap.
I guess, when there was a fire call down burning vehicle somewhere, and there was no service. We're struggling to get service, so.
Okay, no, I just kind of caught me off guard. I thought we had a satellite phone. I don't know whatever happened to it, so. Okay,
I don't know.
I can get back to you on if there's a monthly fee.
Well,
we used to have one.
We write that down and find out where
Yeah.
satellite phone is.
And if we need to sell it, or,
Yeah,
I don't know. I remember we had one,
yeah,
but I don't know anything about it.
okay. That the statement of accounts dated October 25th, 28th, November 5th, 8th, and the 13th, 2025, totaling $257,941.70 be approved. All in favor? Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Kirky.
it's great, I love the ring.
We passed bylaw number 2025-33, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on November 18, 2025. Read this first, second, and third time and passed this 18th day of November 2025. All in favor? I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Foot. That the meeting be adjourned at 7:50 PM. All in favor? Next meeting, December 16th, 2020. December 16th?
December 2nd. isn't it?
December 2nd.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh,
Next meeting,
I'm jumping.
December 2nd.
Tonight.
All in favor?
We just want Christmas sooner.